Alright guys, they say there's a first time for everything. This is my first Super 7 Ultimates review. Super excited to do it. So I did get the Destro, because I'm a big fan of Destro, so I'm excited to unbox this, to review it with you guys, go through all my different points. Hey, let's do it. First time ever, yo Joe. Alright guys, what's up? Here we go. This is my first unbox and review of a Super 7. I only have one other Super 7 that I've ever had, just this Cobra Bat right here. This is the only other one, so I'm super excited to get one of these Ultimates, these Super 7 Ultimates. So this is my first one ever, so I'm super excited to review it, to unbox it. Let's go through my steps. Let's go ahead and unpackage it first to begin with. Here we go. Alright, so here we go. So as you know, all the Super 7 Ultimates come in a very cool case. I do like this. I am a big fan of this presentation. So of course, first we'll go over the presentation. I do like this a lot. I do like how on the back they have this G.I. Joe. Very cool feeling. They have the Cobra symbol on the front. Looks awesome. So as far as second party goes, very cool packaging. I really like it. And of course you can pull it open just like this. And so here is our Destro. So as you can see, they do a really good job of showing you the Destro, putting it all together in a nice presentation. On the back, of course, they have the cartoon, and they have different scenes from the cartoon, and they even have his background. They even say Destro's a fearless, faceless power behind Mars, military, of course, largest manufacturer of state-of-the-art weaponry, so on and so forth. So they do have the background of him, which I do like as well. So it's kind of like the cards that come on the original Joes, but of course, this is Super 7, right? So this is second party. They are licensed to do it, and they do it their own way. I do like that. The only thing is that, of course, I can't cut it out. So I am going to keep the box. As I've told you guys before, I'll tell you guys again, I do keep many of my boxes. Some of them I don't. A lot of the classifieds I don't, but I do, for example, for Serpenter, more of the bigger, more awesome classifieds. Here, for the Ultimate, I will keep this box because I do like the presentation a lot. Let's go ahead and talk about price. I see this, of course, on, for example, eBay. It wasn't actually as expensive as you would think. I know sometimes you see these Super 7s go for like $60 or so. That's not the case with the Destro. I got this one for $34.95 off eBay. And I was really happy with that. So you can find it for that low. So apparently at this point, yes, you can find it at toy shows. Yes, you can find it at, for example, on eBay. To be honest with you, with the toy shows I've gone to, I've only seen the Destro Super 7 one time. That was the alternate version, the red version, the exclusive version. This is the regular Destro version. I prefer this right now, so that's the reason I got this one. But I have seen the other ones. Of course, I've seen Storm Shadow or Duke. There are other Super 7s I've seen. The Snake Eyes one in blue. I will be honest with you, I haven't been totally sold on those. This is the first one I've been sold on. So let's see how this one goes. Let's go ahead and unbox it. Alright, so as we go ahead and pull it out, we can go ahead and see that here's our Destro. And we can go ahead and take this part out. And then there you go, that's the backing right there. So we'll go ahead and put that there. There are two levels, kind of like a Mezco or a 3.0. There are two levels here. And they are taped together, so we're going to go ahead and open that up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open this up. And we have our two levels of accessories. So there's a lot to go through here. This reminds me a lot of second party where, for example, my 3.0s or my Mezcos, where you have a lot of accessories. You definitely do here as I'm quickly looking at it, which I'm excited to go through. So let's go ahead and look at the figure first, and then we do the accessories. And then after that, we will go ahead and do movements and articulation. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so here's our Destro. We take him out. Definitely interesting. Definitely a different feeling. Different type of texture with him. than with a lot of the other action figures. Already I can tell with the movements, he moves a lot easier with the Super 7s. Movement is a lot easier, which is just new for me. Very rigid here with, for example, like his crown that goes around him is red, kind of like best thing that goes around him. The necklace, which of course he's known to wear, is not movable. Many of my Destros, it is movable. In fact, I don't know if I have a Destro where it is not movable. In fact, unless it's a statue. But most of them, including my classifieds, if I remember right, they are all movable. If I'm looking at them right now. And yes, I do believe so. So that is a bit of a, I do not like how he's so rigid here. His arms and his legs do move very, very well. Like they move very freely, super freely. Cannot believe how freely they move. I'm not used to that with an action figure at all. Ankles, they do move freely as well. Okay, so a lot of movement there, But I'm not the biggest fan of how strict this is. I mean, this is literally just made out of like plastic, and I do not like how his necklace cannot be moved at all. So I'm not the biggest fan about those. On the bottom, you do have holes where you can put him on a stand. So that's good to know. So we'll go ahead and have him like that. He does stand very well right now. As I put him down, like he's very stable, very rigid. So I do like that about the Super 7. Let's go ahead and dive into, before we do that, let's go and take a look at the articulation of the face. This face here, he's got this mean looking face. I do like the articulation of the face a lot. It's not a weird looking Destro. That was one of the reasons I bought it. There were other Super 7s I saw that I did not like the face articulation. This one I do like, so I'm happy with that. So again, there's things I like, there's things I don't like about the Super 7 so far. But he does stand very rigid. Let's go ahead and move on. He doesn't even need a stand, to be honest with you. I don't even know if I would use a stand for him. I think he's doing great so far. Let's go ahead and move on to his accessories. All right, first, let's talk about the different types of heads they give you. First off, they give you 2 other Destro heads. One of them with his eyes closed. That's a little weird. I would never display him with his eyes closed. I find that to be a little weird, okay. Another one, very similar to the one he has right now. It's an angry look. His mouth is open. That's a big difference with this one. So his mouth is open. So that one is what's going on there. They also have him with one with red kind of paint all over his face. Interesting. And then they have another one where I believe that you go ahead and you put this on him. Kind of like that. So I don't necessarily get that right now. Different ones, different versions. Hey, very different. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm an old school Destro guy from the 80s. So a lot of this new stuff I'm not jiving with. Just give me my honest opinion. Let's move on to the other accessories. All right, the top layer here of the accessories, they give you 2 guns. One's a little bit bigger than the other. One's like a little pistol. One thing that I can already see is that they don't give you any places right off the back to holster them. Do not like that. Not a big fan of that. Let's go ahead and move on to his different types of grips. All right, so we're done with these accessories. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. So they give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They give you 6 other grips in addition to the 2 that he currently has. He, of course, right now has a clenched fist like this. There are, of course, ones where he can actually hold something like this. Of course, he's got the pointed fingers, which, of course, most of them do now. So there's that. Again, one where he can hold one of his guns. So that's, of course, pretty common. And again, one to where he can actually hold like a briefcase, which I'm already noticing right at the back. Of course, Destro with a briefcase is very, very cliche and something that is like so pure Destro. Super 7 doesn't do that. No briefcase. So interesting. They do give you a grip that is wide open hand. Interesting. I don't know when I'd use that either. So kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and move on to the second tray. All right, so right at the back, a couple things. They have these for his arms, which you can put on kind of like this. So I'm guessing that those are kind of like grenades. You have missiles as well, so you can put this on the other side. I do think that this is pretty cool. I am a fan of this, so I do like these. So let's go ahead and put them on either side. Why not? There you go. Look at that. We got our Destro with grenades and missiles on one side. You got another one with missiles too, so you can do 2 missiles. You do grenaded missiles. So that's pretty cool there. So we'll leave that there. Next, we have a bazooka. That's what I meant. It's a missile. So of course, with his Mars, right? With his Mars manufacturing of artillery, I believe that's what they're getting at here. So it does come with a missile. You have, of course, the bazooka. I'm curious to see if I can put this in there. And then you even have something, I believe, that you can stop it up at the end. So you do have the bazooka here. So you can put the missile inside. I'm not sure what this is. I tried to close this up with this. It's not really working too well. Try to close it back. So I'm not feeling like that's working. Of course, it doesn't fit on the front. So I'm a little confused by this. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it is a cool idea. Maybe it's something I'll put off on the side. I think it would be a little bit difficult for him to hold. I guess here we can play with it in a little bit and see if he can hold the bazooka for display. It would be a little bit interesting. Let's see. We got a couple more accessories here. Let's go ahead and dive into those. All right, so a couple more guns here. Looks like he does have a rifle here, so that's pretty cool. Also looks like he has another gun here. I'm not sure if it has a silencer on it. I'm not sure if it's like a laser gun. So this one's a little bit interesting. Not the biggest fan of this gun, I'm going to be honest with you. So he's got 4 guns total. Here he seems to have, they gave him kind of like a little gadget to maybe move a drone or something of that nature with his Mars, like creating artillery. That's my guess there. The last thing here, you got this kind of like purple box type deal. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what this is getting at. And there's nothing in this to tell me otherwise. I wish that they would have a little thing like how Mezco and 3.0 do, but they don't. So this is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's a book. Again, there's no place to put this. Yeah, that's everything. That's all of his accessories. So we are done going through his accessories. Let's go ahead and move the movement. As I told you earlier, his arms and his legs, I know that came off, it's okay. His arms and legs do move very freely, a lot more freely than, for example, the Classified. His elbows as well, you can bring them up like this. You can actually rotate and turn his elbows. So I do kind of like that aspect, how you can rotate and turn. It's not as simple as flexion extension. So you can actually rotate and turn it, so I do like that. That's an added feature with Super 7 that we don't get with the other ones. There's a lot of rotation in the elbows here. A lot of rotation. Head, very simple there. We can put him in an A stance. Let's see if we can put him in a forward stance like this as well. Very stable as far as like how to display him in the different ways to display him. Yeah, so that's all the movement there. So let's go ahead and go through my grading process. This one's a tough. I definitely do not see it being a high recommendation right off the back. If I was going to give it a score out of 10, my mind right now is somewhere around a 6 or 7. I think it's good. I think there's aspects that are good. I do like how freely the arms move. I do like how stable he is. He stands up. He's actually more stable than, for example, my Mezcos. I find that my Mezcos are not very stable. They fall over a lot, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. My 3.0s are great. They are very stable, but of course those are much, much bigger. As far as these 6-inch go, you do have a lot of stability here, so I do like that. I'm not the biggest fan of the texture. Not the biggest fan of how they don't have anything really that you can attach. You don't have the hole in the back that you can put a backpack. They don't have anything on the side, holsters for his guns or anything. I don't like how it doesn't come with a little pamphlet like Mezco and 3.0 do to explain and tell you and work you through the accessories. I don't like that at all. I don't really get an open hand. That's just a weird thing with me. I still don't understand this purple thing. or this. I do not understand these. This is very weird to me, as well as this. So I'm lost with a couple of the accessories that it comes with. I'm just going to be honest with you. Again, I'd probably give it a 6 at the highest, which comes in the neutral range. I would say, I don't think I'd go as far as saying not recommending. I would say that if you are a Destro fan, you want to collect all the different Destros, get it. There are cool things about it. But I definitely would not go as far as recommending it, because I think that, and this is how I've kind of felt with many of the Super 7s, and that's why I've been so hesitant to get them, is that I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's like, you kind of go through and you're like, what? Why? And again, I'm just being brutally honest, okay? Why do we have this? What is the point of some of this stuff? I don't really get some of these guns. I feel like they're trying to change Destro too much. Maybe they're trying to be too creative. Super 7 is. Maybe they're trying to be too different than, for example, the Mezcos or the 3-0s. All the different types of second parties. So not the biggest fan of that. In the end, like I said, I give it a neutral. I give it a 5 or 6. I would say if you're a big Destro fan and you want to get it, get it. Otherwise, if you're just looking to get cool stuff out there to add to your collection, I don't know if you want to spend your money on this one. All right? Here's my true take. Hey, thank you for being with me. As always, you guys are awesome. Hey, please like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Yo, Joe.